I'm Kim Kirk, and I'm sharing 10 things I learned from the fall. We're on number 2, but I'll remind you of the first one. Questioning God's goodness leads to temptation. If you missed it, you can always watch it on my website, kimberlykirk.com, or my YouTube page. The second is this: when we add anything to God's word, we're in trouble. There's one thing that I never realized until I was prepping for this segment, and that's that the scriptures basically begin and end with this truth. We see it in Revelation 22, verses 18 and 19. I warn everyone who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If anyone adds to them, God will add to him the plagues described in this book. And if anyone takes away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God will take away his share in the tree of life and in the holy city, which are described in this book. Now, it's not as clearly stated in Genesis 3, but we do see it there. It's found in Eve's response when Satan said, did God say you can't eat anything, any of the trees, from any of the trees? It's in Genesis 2, verses 2 to 3. And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. Now, we know that the original mandate just said that they shouldn't eat it, not that they shouldn't touch it. So that was added somehow, somewhere. We might think, what's the big deal, right? Didn't that provide an added layer of protection? After all, if they weren't supposed to eat of it, they probably shouldn't be touching it either. And yet I believe it worked against them. Think about it this way. It says that Eve reached out and took the fruit and then she ate it. So obviously she had to touch it first. In that moment when she touched it, nothing happened. And she believed that God said, if you touch it, you'll die. And therefore, it probably made it easier for her to just eat it and then to give it to Adam as well. God sets rules for our protection. And when we alter them in any way, we are in trouble. We are called to know the scriptures, to communicate them accurately, and to follow them fully. Anything less is dangerous. Hope to see you again tomorrow.